Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can come and get caught up on some of the news that involves our Cleveland Browns, and then also get a 10-minute take along the way. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you, if you can please like this episode, like previous episodes, subscribe to the channel, and get your comments into the viewer comment section. Coming up on today's show, rookie minicamp only a couple of days away, and we're going to let you know who is expected to be at the top of the rookie quarterback depth chart when everybody gets to Berea on Friday. Also, call it what you want, but it looks like Deion doing a little damage control with the Browns. And then how about this? Here's the one thing Kenny Pickett has over the rookie quarterbacks that they don't have. He's got an edge. We'll talk about it. And also, the viewer comments, they just never disappoint. We will share some of those with you. But first, the quarterback who is expected to be at the top of the depth chart when the rookies come to, this is just the rookie depth chart. What quarterback will be on top? Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel is expected to be at the top of the rookie quarterback depth chart when everybody reports on Friday. And here's why, folks. He's the higher draft pick. And so I got into a little bit. I was doing some digging, and I wanted to know, like, what's the difference here? Like, why pass on Shedeur so many times, and why take Gabriel when they did? So here's what I've compiled. So they were concerned, the Browns were concerned with Shedeur's negative plays. He took 94 sacks in 2 years. He threw 10 interceptions last year as a senior. Then they look at Gabriel. They like his body of work. He played in a lot of games. He has a lot of experience. But he's finished with a 160.9 career passer rating across his stints at UCF and Oklahoma and Oregon. I mean, he never threw more than 7 interceptions in a season. He takes care of the ball, which we haven't seen a lot of that around here the last few years here in Cleveland. But the Browns really liked that. You know, they liked his consistency. They liked that he was able to perform everywhere he went. He eclipsed 3,000 passing yards in 5 seasons. But here's the thing, folks. Talking about the consistency, the accuracy, and all that stuff. How he went and he did well wherever he went. I say you could say the same thing about Deion Sanders. Like, why not? I mean, when you look at it, Shedeur shows up to at Jackson State, turns that place around, shows up to Colorado, taking them to bowl games. And so, to me, it's just a matter of the way you look at it, But here's the thing, folks. Gabriel did all this, except for the 1 year in 2021 when he broke his clavicle. And that is my biggest concern when it comes to Gabriel because of his size. I mean, you're going to get out there with these these defensive ends. And it's got to be a concern if you're the Browns. Just can he keep himself out of harm's way, and can he stay on the field? So like I said, yes, he will top the rookie depth chart when they start on Friday, but it's because they took him first, and now you know some of the reasons why, and then it all played out. And so, but if you're Gabriel, are you sitting there thinking, I don't know, did the Browns take me and then go, whoops, and then go back and get Sanders? That's what I mean, folks. There's a lot that's going to play out here. So it remains to be seen. Now, the other thing before the draft, you remember that video that came out, Deion Sanders talking about how he wanted Shedeur. They were hoping to go to the Giants, and then everybody got in an uproar, thought for sure that that's where they were going. They thought they wanted to be. They didn't want the Browns to take them. All of it. Well, here's the thing, folks. I would fully expect Deion to want Shedeur to play in the biggest media market on the planet. I mean, when you spend half your time media marketing, of course you're going to want to be in New York. And so, if he goes there, the sponsorships, the deals, everything he can do there, I mean, Cleveland, not quite the same when it comes to, the sponsorships and whatever else you can get. I mean, Baker Mayfield got some nice Progressive commercials out of it, but that's to me why he would say that. You want to go to New York, and probably they would take LA, I'm sure, but they probably wanted to go to New York because of everything that comes with New York. But Deion, there are reports out there. Daniel Oifusi, who covers the Browns for ESPN's NFL Nation, he said that Deion FaceTimed Andrew Berry, and he has a good relationship with him. And we heard that. Everything that Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski said, every meeting they had with Deion, every meeting that they had with Shador, all positive, all good. And so he FaceTimed them and he talked to him. And so the other thing about this is, so he's talked to Berry, all that's good. The other thing is this, Deion is really good friends with the Browns quarterback coach, Bill Musgrave. They played together at San Francisco back in 1994. So there's a relationship there. So any of that where anybody who's thinking, Sanders, I don't know, for lack of a better word, shunned the Browns during the draft process and all that, forget about it. It's over. It's all water under the bridge. It's all taken care of. Deion has relationships with Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Bill Musgrave, anybody, all of the important people. And so I don't think any of that is going to be an issue. But here's one thing to consider. Word on the street is Kenny Pickett is the guy that they really want to start. Obviously, Joe Flacco, maybe because of his age. I mean, he's really here for more than anything to help the younger guys along. But word on the street is that Kenny Pickett is the reclamation project. They would welcome him being this year's version of Sam Darnold. So it remains to be seen. Like I said, I kept, you keep thinking he's the odd man out. They say they're not going to pick up the fifth-year options. They do that. That's only providing more motivation for Pickett, And the other thing is this, folks. The one thing that Kenny Pickett has that Sanders and Gabriel don't have is experience in the league. And so, he's heading into his fourth year, and he's kind of been through it. He knows what it's like to be a rookie. And the thing is, people, he's had a winning record in the league. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, as bad as it seems it's been for Kenny Pickett, I mean, he's 15-10. And so, and we mentioned it in one of the earlier shows, and we broke it down. Injuries have been a big problem for him, but word on the street is this could be Kenny Pickett's job to lose. So that is going to be something once we get through rookie minicamp and we start getting into OTAs and deeper into training camp. Boy, oh boy, that is going to be a huge, huge story to follow. Speaking of huge, viewer comments, you guys undeniably good as usual. And let's start with Just Call Me Monty. He says, now remember I mentioned LeBron. We were talking about Myles Garrett. He says, chill on LeBron, man. He's from Ohio. He said, just because he doesn't play for your team doesn't mean you have to talk down on the player. And then he said, Myles Garrett is the best player that the Browns have, which, I mean, it's arguable. Yeah, sure. Give him whatever you want. And he also said we should give Chubb whatever he wants. He said the problem with the Browns is we're always rebuilding because we don't always give the faces of the team the money they need. We always just give them away. And so there's a lot of truth in all of that. Just call me Monty. And, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, right? And it starts with a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to be able to keep guys. You're not going to be able to get guys. I mean, it's so much easier when you have a quarterback. Look at all the teams that have one. You never hear about this kind of stuff with them, man. Like it is just the quarterback is so important. You got to get that quarterback. Joel McLean, 2898 says, your take on Myles Garrett isn't all that far off base. I've never been a fan of players who try to control the team. If he wants to be traded, then talk to management, but don't go crazy on social media. Don't give ultimatums. you are under contract to be with the team until you hit free agency. And that's a big pet peeve of mine. These guys that sign a contract and then, say it's a 4-year contract, and then 2 or 3 years in, they see other guys now making more than they are. Amari Cooper. And then they start bitching and moaning. They want more money, and they start this whole thing. That's where if you signed up for it, man, you should honor that contract, And so I agree. I agree with you, Joel McClain. So good take. Chantel Penton, 7465. Do you think Shador will make the roster? I'm hoping so because I just renewed my season tickets. I responded to her. There's a 1,000,000% chance Shador Sanders will be on the Browns roster game 1. Parasock, 8823. Have never watched the Cleveland Browns in my life, but now I am here for Shador. Again, we talked about it, the Shador effect. We got people in the comments from Louisiana, Texas, Colorado, from all over the place who are coming in and saying they are Browns fans now because Shador Sanders is here. That is the Shador effect. Speaking of, this is how we'll end. Lab Rat says, I'm an ex-Cowboys fan. He says that organization has bigger problems. I beg to differ. Now I'm a Browns fan just because of Shador. Followed Shador at CU, and he was fun to watch. Every team he is with has had success. I wish he would have gone to Dallas and replaced Dak. And that's the other place that I thought he'd end up with Deion and his ties to the Cowboys and all that. And they need a quarterback, or at least a younger quarterback at some point. It's going to be soon. They're going to need one. I thought that Shador would have ended up in Dallas if he didn't end up in New York. But we got him now, folks. All right, that's going to do it. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.